What's up, guys? Today, Monday, October 7th, a good day for me on the semiconductors, AMD and NVIDIA. I want to go over this AMD trade today. I could have done better on this trade, and I want to walk through some of the things that I should have improved on. In terms of entry points, that was really where I could have done better and sort of got more out of this trade. Still a great trade, about a $6,000 profit. Percentage-wise, not great. Only about a 12% win. From the height, I think it was about a 15% trade. Good scalp, good trade, off some very clean technicals and a good game plan. So the game plan, I think, A+. The executions could have been better. And this is where that really precise entries and exits is so important. And I think that me reviewing this video or this trade with you today will really detail how important entries are, even when you have a good game plan, right? You could have that great game plan. You could have those structures that you're looking for, everything that you're looking for, but you still need to have that precise entry, right? And so today, I get away with a nice win. It was a nice $6,000 win. Happy about it. Could I have done better? Absolutely. And I make videos on YouTube for you guys to not only help you to see how I can improve, but also I like to document it for myself. So we're going to go ahead and document this trade today on AMD, and I hope you guys do enjoy it. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Big hurricanes coming my way. I'm going to try to get in as much content as I can for you guys to hopefully, give you some value here. Hopefully my power does not go out. It probably will. I think it's probably 100% chance that it will. So you might not hear from me for a few days. I'm not a snake oil salesman. I'm not a scammer because I've gone away. I've gotten these messages before on YouTube. Where'd this snake oil salesman go? Well, it's because I was on vacation. This time around, it's probably because there's a Category 5 hurricane heading to Florida. So if you don't hear from me Tuesday night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's probably why. So just know that, and let's jump right into it. So here's the chart on AMD today, guys, and I'll go ahead and pull in my statistics on this trade. Today, a nice day, about a $26,000 day, 50% win rate, lost on Tesla, lost on Costco, but a good big win on NVIDIA, and a nice solid win on AMD, which, again, I could improve on. So we're going to really break down this AMD trade and try to sort of understand what happened here. NVIDIA, you guys know that long bias, that long idea that I've had for quite some time really worked out today, and profits on that one again. So really nice on NVIDIA. We'll go through that larger term analysis again today, and maybe at the end of today's video. So AMD, right? I only got about 10% net. Executions, you guys can see in around $5, and then out at the most at $5.50. So about 50 cents on $5, about 10% at the most. So 10, 11, 12%. I just couldn't really get AMD to get going. The idea was great. The problem was the market, once again, would not get over that 586 level. You can't see my face. There's my face. The 486 level on the Qs, again, just sort of stalling this market out. But there was strength on semis and the SMH, which made me really want to stay involved in this trade. Could I have got more percentage out of this trade if I got in on a better entry? Yes. And that's what we're going to really talk about in today's video. So you guys can see my entries were sort of early morning on this pullback towards this 170 spot. I was looking for the 169 break and retest. So could I have done better there? Absolutely. Could I have been more patient? Absolutely. My exits, I am happy with my two exits, my big exit up here at those highs, and then an exit towards end of day to get rid of the position. I didn't want to hold anything overnight. I'm happy to take these profits. I'm happy to run. Let's talk about this chart, and let's really break down what happened here on AMD and what I was looking for. Game plan is separate than execution. We can have a great game plan, but we need proper execution. We need to wait for the proper entry point. Could I have done better to find a better entry today? Yes. And this is important for me to understand for myself and hopefully for you guys out there. Right here, we can see AMD had a double top high at 168.70. That was the exact level, 168.70, 169. We have a very clear double top high on AMD. Now, on Friday of last week, we got above that level. If you guys know about my strategy, if you know about what I look for the break and retest. You guys know this. If you don't, then here you go. This is going to explain my strategy in a nutshell. I look for breaks of key rejection points, and I look for us to pull back to that level and hold. If we're moving to the downside, I look for a break under a key support. I look for it to push back up into that support and reject. So the strategy works both ways. Today, in this particular example, I am looking for upside on a pullback, a retest of a previous major rejection. So we can very clearly see here on the 1 hour chart, we had a very major rejection on AMD, which caused downside right over, a few day period. We had a nice hold. We had a comfortable hold around this 158.50. And after seeing this hold come in, we have gotten a very nice push to the upside. Now, this hold was actually the bigger and larger term break and retest, which was really the juicy trade. So if I go to the 4 hour, you guys can see right here, the really juicy trade here on AMD was actually down here, right? It was this major high from here, which was 158.50. And you can see that major hold right here. Now that is a beautiful break and retest long, which gave a few days of continuation. That's really where we want to be long down there. But I did see on this 4 hour chart that we had a very major 4 hour high right here, which was broken Friday afternoon. So I knew coming into today, I was looking to see if AMD could pull back to that level and turn it into support. Let's go down into the 5-minute chart. Here's the 5-minute chart on AMD. And we can see just on Friday, that same 168.70 level, right? Rejecting there. Very nice, right? And today, we saw the market push higher, and we started to fade back down into that level. Now, as we were fading back down into that level, I started to get myself into some positions. This is still a problem, and I'm always transparent with you guys about how I trade and what I do. This is still a problem to this day that I have with my trading. I am so confident in my game plans that I will at times front run the ideas before we even get to that retest level. I need to change this. I need to do better at this, right? Because I don't need to feel like I need to get in front run. I need to let that retest level get tested, right? I need to let it retest, right? Instead of getting in prematurely. Let it retest and then start to formulate that entry down at that level, right? So you can see this was a perfect previous high into a perfect triple bottom low today. And if you would have exposed yourself, or if I would have exposed myself better with better entries down at this low, then this would have been much larger than a 10% trade, right? If we go to the AMD option contracts, let's just go to that 170 contract and let's take a look what they moved there, right? So if I would have been more patient today, my entry should have been around $4, right? 4 to around 575. That's $1.75 on $4. What is that? Let's get that quick, math. I don't got that mental math for you. So $1.75. So $1.75 over 4. That's about a 43% return, right? So that is the difference right there. Front running, I had $5 into 510, where I could have had $4 into 575, right, in the best case scenario. So the best case scenario here was the runner moved around 45%. And that, of course, would have been a much better trade. So you guys can see how the idea that I had walking into the day, the idea and the game plan that I had coming into today was absolutely spot on, right? I had this 168.70 level, this major previous high, which if we go down to the short-term time frames was also a Friday high rejection, right there. I was looking for us to trade back lower, come down into that level, hold it as a support, and look for that long back to the upside. I stayed in this trade through some of that drawdown because I knew what I was looking for, right? And so that's also a very important topic here and a very important point. I did not exit when I was in drawdown. And this goes back to understanding your game plan, right? So some people may have taken that AMD trade with me. Let's just make an example out of it. If you followed me on that AMD trade and you didn't know the game plan, then you probably took the loss at the lows, right? Because you weren't quite understanding of what I was doing. I'm entering that trade prematurely, and I am sitting through some drawdown, which is not 100% the proper thing. I'm not saying it is. But I'm staying in the trade because I know what I'm looking for, right? And this is so important in our trades. We have to know what we're looking for. We need to know when it's invalidated and when it's still valid. So I did prematurely enter AMD today. Yes, that is true, and I can improve on that. But did I stay in the trade because I knew it was still valid? Yes, also, which is another very important aspect of the trade, right? So you can start to see, I hope you can start to see from this video, there are different aspects of every trade. There's the entry point, there's the game plan, there's the is it valid or invalid, right? There's all the intra-trade management that has to go on. Are you confident? Are you still in a valid position? Is the level still holding? Those things I could have answered today all day, yes, right? My answer to that all day was yes, and that is why I stayed in the position. Could I execute on it better? Also, yes. And that's why I wanted to make this video today, because I think it showcases how important those entries are. So you guys saw, as I showed you in TradeZella, right? My entry point's a little bit too early, but I did stay in it through some drawdown, and I think that is okay, right? I'm fine with that because I knew the game plan was still valid and I knew my level was still holding, which ended up getting me into profit, which I am happy about. It was around 10%, $6,200, $6,500. Is there room for improvement here to really fine-tune my strategy and fine-tune my entries and exits? Yes. And I hope that this video shows you that. This will always be what you have to go through in your trades. And I hope that me being open and sharing this with you influences you and motivates you to continue to work through your strategy and figure out where those best entries are and how to fine-tune over time. These trades like this today, this trade like this today on AMD is awesome because I know what I could improve. I know my game plan worked. I know what I need to fix, right? And I can use this to detail and to fine-tune my trading. And that's why, again, I wanted to make a video about it. So, in terms of the larger term game plan, when we zoom out on this 30-minute chart, this is a break and retest all day, and it worked out beautifully. Previous major highs into a very clear low of day today. That is beautiful. That is perfect. You love to see it. Could I have taken better entries down at this low to improve my risk reward, to improve my margin on the trade? Yes. Is that something I will take away from this trade and improve on in future trades? Absolutely. And I hope that this short little video explains that to you guys and showcases where we can improve on our trades to get better risk reward and to get better margins on our positions. The other reason I was very interested in AMD today was, of course, that SMH, that 247 level, which you guys can see had pretty much held all morning and started to push higher into the afternoon. And again, late day today, holding again. So I'm still interested to see if AMD continuation is there. Absolutely. As long as we're over that 247 and that 100 SMA on the SMH. Now on NVIDIA, we saw that 125 level finally break, and we saw that squeeze into our 130 level. This has been our target for some time. You guys can see right here, we finally got our push into that 130, 131, and we saw that rejection come in. So you can see, look at this major high on NVIDIA, and look at how we hit that level and started to reject. So moving forward, right, what are we looking for? Break and hold. Oh, that's sloppy. Break and hold over that 131. That's going to be our next trade. If we can get that, that is extremely interesting. If I go down to this 30-minute chart, the next spot that I'll look on on NVIDIA tomorrow is right here. This 127, I'm going to see if that holds, or let's see if we can get a full pullback back to that 125 and find a new entry point at that 125. This was another trade that I was able to profit on today, that push off that 125 towards that 130 target. Overall, guys, to end the day, I want to point out a few things to be concerned of into tomorrow. Just a general recap here for you. Number one, the 486 level, once again, did not break. That was a pain in the ass level. Once again, you guys can see all day today, 486 not breaking, no penetration through that 486 today, and that is still a problem. The other problem that I foresee here, potentially, is the fact that the QQQ failed and held under 483 into end of day today, and this is why I took all of my longs off into end of day. I did not want long exposure into tomorrow with the QQQ under 483. I do not like that. The only reason I believe there is still a reason to look for upside tomorrow, and that is, of course, if we see a reclaim back over 483, is again the SPY ETF holding that previous all-time high at 565.40. And once again, if I go to the daily levels, you guys should remember this, right? Look at this 4-hour chart. The SPY, once again, defending the major previous all-time high at 565.40. That is going to be the key, and you can see today that 20 SMA defended once again. So I will look for that potential long opportunity tomorrow off these lows, but I'm going to have to see some reclaims on the QQQ. That's really it today, guys. That's all I got for you. I hope you learned something from that AMD quick recap. I just wanted to get this out for you. I hope you guys do enjoy that. A decent day for me. Things to improve. Always things to improve in trading. I've been doing it for 11 years now, and I hope that me sharing this content, this education, can help you along your journey. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.